And we are live. What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Iron Mike Tyson. This here is regarding Mike Tyson, a poll that I put on YouTube, and I was basically asking on this poll the possible fighters that Mike Tyson could face, and I had a selected few of people or whatnot. And let me tell you guys what the options were. Excuse me, I just chugged down some pizza. Cheat day, people, cheat day. How are we doing, everybody? Sir 404, 7 minutes late. Sorry about that. Had to upload another video that I'm getting out to you guys. So, you know, what's good is time if you're not gonna honor it. Just gonna hit the sack, fellas. Keep up the good work. Hope you're all well. There, 18, whatever that is. Cheers. Counterpunch to you, fish. All right. So, the selection was, if you guys voted, thank you. Out of 1,600 votes, Andy Ruiz is 11%. Anthony Joshua was 4%. Deontay Wilder, get this. Domino Don, counterpunch to you, brother. Thank you for coming in. Deontay Wilder was a whopping 60%. Tyson Fury, 3%. That's 1% under Anthony Joshua, which ain't shit. And Lennox Lewis, 23%. So, we have Deontay Wilder and Lennox Lewis. Andy Ruiz was 11%, but, that's basically half of what Lennox Lewis was. So, if Lennox Lewis, that would be cool if you could have old guys doing exhibition fights. Because, like 4 rounds, for a guy like, let's say, like Evander Holyfield, him and Vladimir Klitschko, those guys, they stay in the gym anyway. They're going to be forever gym rats. They're going to die in the gym. They're going to leave gym one day and drop dead because they're going to go into the 60, 70, 80 years old. That's just them, That's what they know how to do. Tyson's last exhibition, he didn't look impressive. Okay? Give me a slice of that pizza, Kurt. Love the channel. Best life. Yeah, I had that thin crust. Papa John's in this house, man. Papa John's is pretty good. I had that shit today before yesterday. So this is that. I got enough of it in my system, I think. Double SB28. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. We're just going over the stats. So Deontay Wilder out of 1,600 votes, right? Deontay that's 960 votes. 960. That's a lot. I'm eating pizza right now. What kind of pizza are you eating? Double SB28. Let's hit that like button when we coming in, fellas. Then drinking a cherry Pepsi. Man, I ain't drunk Coke in so long. The only thing I drink Coke with is like Crown or rum. So I'm going old school. That's a good taste, though. Like eating a pizza with a Coke. I used to be like a Coke head. Like when I was a kid, I used to drink like Coca-Cola all the time, right? To the point where, my mom was like, hey, you got to stop drinking that shit. Your kidneys are going to be shit when you get older. The boxing icons. What's up, Kurt? How's things over in the U.S.? Things good, man. Everybody's still on standstill. They're trying to let people out kind of slowly. Let them get back to the way life used to be, But, they're still practicing social SD, how I called it. They're still practicing SD right now. So, like, for example, went to Papa John's. Papa John's, you're only allowed with one person in the store at one time. So a lot of people hanging outside or in their cars. So then they wait to come in. So people are, they're adjusting pretty good to it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's pretty good. How's things in the UK? Anthony Within. What it is, Big Kurt. Everything's good, brother. Troy Graham, big ups to you. Big ups to you, sir. K Beats. What's up, brother? Mario Edward, counterpunch to you. He's only doing charity fights. Now look, that is true. Tyson Fury Tyson Fury, there I go. Mike Tyson said that he's only doing something for charity. He's doing something to give back. But he did say with 6 weeks he could beat Deontay Wilder. Now, well, that was just theoretically speaking or whatever, but I think really all it takes is somebody saying like Deontay, tactless, reckless as he is. Corey, salute to you, brother. Shout out from Turkey. Could say something like, "Oh, I'll knock his ass out still." You know what I mean? And piss Mike off to the point where Mike like, "Okay, motherfucker, I already know I can beat you. You just got beat by the dude that's named after me. Now you're about to see the real Tyson." It takes something like that. That would be some pretty impressive junk. You know what I mean? So, because Mike, I don't know if you guys heard, but Mike has a short temper still. Like, Mike's calmed down a whole lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's calmed down to the point where you're like, he's a different guy. He's older. He's more mature. He's learning how to deal with things. But savage, best life. I think that's what you're trying to say. But he is. Hey, Kurt, please stay safe over there. Appreciate it, brother. Whoa, Osho. But Tyson is some things he'll go off on you and straight. Like, this wasn't that long ago. Maybe it was a few years ago. He was in Canada because, Tyson had that show. And Tyson, like, it was this reporter, bald-headed black dude I think he was from Toronto. And he was on this show, and then it was him and then the manager of Tyson, right? They were there. And then the guy mentioned the rape case. Matter of fact, hold on a minute. Hold on a second. I'm going to play this shit for you guys because this shit's hilarious. You guys got to hear this. Hold on, let me hook this up real quick. I apologize. Something's wrong with my fucking cable, so all I got is Wi-Fi. So, and the technician won't come here. And then we had to do a questionnaire on the amount of people in the house so the dude can come here. So it's one of those things. You got to turn it on first. There we go.
Power on.
All right. But Mike will go off on you. He can come unglued quick. It's just right. It's just the right things to say. You know what I mean? He still has a hair trigger. Exactly, Jim Brown. Counterpunch to you, brother. But look, I'm gonna let you guys listen to this shit because I listen to it every so often when I want a good laugh. When I love about Mike is a type of dude that don't give a fuck. He just don't give a shit. The interview, Troy, exactly. I'm about to find that shit right now because I got to share that with the people that haven't heard it. Just type in Mike Tyson's Canada interview. Yeah. Mike Tyson's Canada interview. Now check this out.
Met up with Mayor Rob Ford. Well, he joins us right now with his promoter, Alex. Thanks for joining us, both of you. I'll start with yourself. Many are wondering, how did that happen, this meeting with the mayor?
I have no idea.
It's my fault again. No, at the end of the day, he is the mayor of the city. Mike Tyson is here to promote the first ever performance in Canada. And when I had Sugar Ray Leonard come to Montreal to launch the book, we went to the mayor's office. We're here, it's an habit. We go see the mayor.
And this is the first time probably in the history of Toronto where the mayor is bigger than the whole city. He's the biggest celebrity than everybody in the city. Everybody wants to see the mayor. And he's a really dynamic character.
Right, so you read up on him, you sort of been following?
No, I didn't read up on him. I watched him on television.
Right.
In the States, and he's a big hit in the States. He's a big hit.
Now, some of your critics would say, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that, you know, because it's negative and you're being negative. And I met the mayor, right, and nothing they can do about it.
We actually had a really good time. We talked about George
Mike's
Travalo.
pissed. Mike's.
Who's a legend in your city.
Yo, listen. Mike, look, I'm going to tell you. You've seen two different Mikes. And I'm going to tell you the reaction. The reaction he just gave you, or the reply he just gave you, was that old Mike. Was that Mike that was like, you're negative. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? It's negative, and you're being negative. And I don't have any comment today. I met the man. Ain't nothing they can do about it. That's one response. That's that old, calmed Mike. Then guess what? Something just happens because they're talking right now. And I'm watching Mike. Mike's doing this. He's looking back at the dude, and he looks back, and he looks off like that. You know what I mean? But look, the way he said it, Troy, it was a trip. He watched that today. Best Life, you watched that today. Look, yeah, I did see that Fat Joe, you know, distance. Yeah, it was a trip. You should watch the one where he talked about Roy Jones too. YOLO Pro, hello, HE, okay. Hello, YOLO Pro. But anyway, Mike was like, you could tell he was thinking in his mind. He was thinking like, this motherfucker tried me. That's all he's thinking. This motherfucker tried me. You know what I mean? So festering. So yeah, shit was building up. Now watch. The other guy is doing damage control because he know that pissed Mike off. He knows Mike. He know it pissed him off. So he was just like, oh, well, this is doing this in this 50 states and this, that, and the other. Big boss, shout out to you, brother. And then guess what? Boom.
Great man with whom Mike spent quite a bit of time yesterday.
Look at Mike.
About his life, highs and lows.
So interesting when you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Hey, come on. No,
that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit.
You know, we're doing live TV.
Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
All right, you got a show that you're doing tonight. We are. You know, a lot of people are. Where it comes raw and it's the real truth. Yeah, a lot of people should be there to see your show. Just tell us a bit about it.
It speaks for itself. Everyone saw the show.
All right. It's a Broadway production. It went to Vegas. It went to actually 28 cities in the United States.
He's doing damage.
And we're really, really proud to bring it here. And
Mike's
we're actually
still
going
pissed.
to Monaco on October.
Mike, look at this motherfucker.
Right.
And he's looking off.
Is it nerve-wracking?
He's pissed.
Something like this, or is it more?
Now look at Mike.
To box? How does it compare?
I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear us talking to a rat piece of shit like you. Not because you're a piece of shit.
All right, we're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming in.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Dude, and look, that one thing, that's all it took for Mike to go the fuck off because, you know, first of all, let me say this on some real shit. It's certain things you don't ask people about. You know what I mean? That's just like, let's say Jarrell Miller, okay? Let's say Jarrell Miller. Why do you think Jarrell Miller slapped that fucking drink out of the dude's hand? Because the dude came at him, and that's fresh. I mean, that's you know, that's fresh. But let's just say Jarrell Miller will always be known by that. Let's say he will never be able to overcome that. And it's 20 years from now. It's like fucking 2035, right? And it's motherfuckers that are still asking about that shit. Obviously, enough people by this time, he's got fed up. This reporter's problem is he hadn't did his research. He should have understood by watching other people make that same mistake that he should have known. Don't ask any questions about the rape allegation. And then Mike's right. I mean, what the fuck are you really going to do about it? He's there promoting a show. He's a celebrity. He's a former boxer that's just showing, that's talking about his life. Now, it would have been different if he talked about something that happened within the show. So in the show, you mentioned this, Mike. That's different because that's something that he said, or that's something that pertained to his show. This motherfucker said, oh, well, some people might think that since you're a convicted rapist, you know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would you go there? This might hurt his campaign. What would you say to that? And Mike told him, right? You know what I mean? Almost get a payday with a broken jaw. Yeah, he almost got fucked up because he didn't let off of him. He stayed on his shit because he was like, the balls on this motherfucker thinking that it was cool to ask me that after all the other people that has tried and failed miserably, of doing that. That's right, Jim. He almost got fucked up. Don't Mike ain't that dude no more. But then again, don't pretend like it's Mike Tyson, people. Like, people respect a bear. Like, you see a bear over there in the woods. Okay, go away from the bear. Leave the bear the fuck alone. Because the bear will fuck you up. Don't mess with him. Okay, it's like stuff Mike Tyson, don't talk about rape allegations to Mike. Don't mention shit that happened damn near 30 years ago. And that is frustrating. I mean, it's very that shit happened in what, 92? 93? Right? Look, I don't give Mike a chance against any elite heavyweight dude in his 50s, his prime. He beats them all. Well, here's the thing. I look at Mike. Now, I'll care for the welfare of Mike. Mike's a strong, tough guy. I doubt that will happen anyway, Loke. But here's the thing. Exactly. Tell Khabib about that bear. Khabib wrestled a motherfucker. Right? But you look at Mike, and people might think he's a joke. And people might take him lightly. But you have to understand, Clifford the Black Rhino ATN thought that same shit. If you guys don't know who Clifford ATN is or was, he was a serious contender in the heavyweight division in the early 2000s. He beat Lawrence Claybay. He beat Lamont Brewster. He beat a lot of those guys, and he was the one that took the O from these guys. He was a tough customer from Baton Rouge. They called him the Black Rhino. And it's funny, he was on I think it was Showbox, or I think it was Showbox. No, HBO something Nation. Used to be some shit like that. They used to have these little venues that Floyd used to fight on them. Floyd fought Emmanuel Burton on one of those. It was I think it was HBO's. I forget what it's called, but Clifford, he beat the dude they call. He played Mike Tyson, and I think in one of those. I think it was that Don King movie with Ving Rhames played Don King, which was a very good movie. You guys haven't saw that, check that shit out. It's very, very good. It's on YouTube, actually. Only in America, that's what it's called. But he played that dude. He was a professional fighter. And, Clifford mopped him. So he was a pretty decent fighter. He was a good C-plus fighter. He could bang. But he got in there fucking with Mike. And this is Mike, I think this is Mike's, almost his last fight. He was his fight was, I think it was his last win because he lost his last two, and I think this was in 03, right? And then Mike comes back, and then Clifford the Black Rhino, at that time, he only had one loss, and he lost to Fresno Kendo, right? So he took his first loss to Fresno Kendo, and then he went in there fucking with Mike. Dude, the fight lasted 48 seconds. This is Mike Tyson in 2003. This is after the Lewis fight, people. Mike Tyson was not in his prime. He goes in there against a dude in his fucking prime and knocks him out in 40 some odd seconds. I want to say 48 seconds, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, ATN KO. He almost broke his fucking leg pads. KO Nation, exactly. I know it's something like KO Nation, exact. HBO's KO Nation. That's where Clifford Rhino he fought, Floyd fought, and that shows you where Floyd has went. He went from that to pay-per-view HBO, then he left there, then went to Showtime and became the creme de la creme, the cash cow, the TB and all that. But this is way before that. He was on show HBO KO Nation. That shit was a smaller venue. The shit came on at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You know, like on a Saturday, like 3, 4 p.m. Right? That show, it didn't even have a prime time slot, people. But Clifford used to fight a lot on that, so it was one of those smaller venues for the smaller, lesser known fighters. Okay, so it wasn't the HBO Friday After Darks necessarily, or of course, the HBO World Championship Boxing, and of course the HBO pay per view. So we had that. No, it was over. Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Thanks for the news, bro. I mean, BK, look, he knocks him out. So who's to say Mike Tyson, they say power, is the last thing to go? They say it's the last thing to go, right? So we're looking at it like, damn, if Mike can fucking slip, heavyweight division, people, it's not like being 122 pounds. A 130, a 135, a 147, a 154, a 160. This shit's the heavyweight division. You get caught with a punch, you might be on your arse, people. Like, real talk, this is like one of those things where if Mike Tyson gets in there with one, let's put it this way. All the guys that I mentioned, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, Lennox Lewis, he's probably whatever. Anthony Joshua. Do you think he couldn't fucking knock one of them dudes out on one? If he fought all 5 of them, you think all 5 of them would beat him? Because it's like the styles, matter of fact. Yeah, Mike's older. Yes, he's 53. Yes, he's middle aged. Yes, yes, yes. Everything's against him. But if the man still can move like he can move, as we see he can still do, it ain't like, it ain't like he's slower. It ain't like he's sounding like Michael McDaniel when he sings. Michael McDonald, that's what his name. Michael McDonald was like, he was all, but you hear him now, he's like, he doesn't sound like he's worse for wear, like other people that have been past their prime of whatever profession they're in, especially boxers. So he still looks like he can do it, and all it takes is that, well, you know what I mean? That one slip the jab, bow, bow, oh, he hurt him, right? And adrenaline takes over, and if he can do that to Clifford the Rhino ATN, I know it's a lot of years passed by that, right? That was 17 years ago. I get it. But then at that time, Clifford was supposed to mop Mike Tyson. And what Clifford told him, he said, look, Mike, stop bullshitting. Stop bullshitting and get this shit. I told him, man, stop bullshitting, Mike. Mike helped him back up. Because, after that Lennox fight, Tyson got a lot of aggression out of him. You know what I mean? A lot. I didn't say all. A lot of aggression out of him, right? So it is what it is. Look, he smokes most of them, and besides Fury and Joshua, I don't believe any of those guys would have the audacity to step in the ring with Mike. And I don't mean that because they're scared of him. I mean, they do that first of all, Tyson Fury's named after the fucking guy. Tyson Fury ain't gonna fight Mike Tyson. He wouldn't do that shit. He has more respect. See, that's what you call respect. Okay? Joshua ain't gonna do that. Joshua just fucking yesterday just had paid homage to Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. He's not gonna fight these young dudes. Look, Anthony Joshua wouldn't fight Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury was fat, overweight, ex-coke head and shit. He wouldn't do it because he said, well, if I beat him, what's people gonna say? Right? So he didn't even want to take the challenge. He didn't want to fight him. Right? So, like, those dudes will not fight Mike. Now, Deontay Wilder, I don't think, he hasn't showed me, especially recently, that he has any of that. Respect for your elders, integrity, or none of that shit. So he might fight Mike just to say, well, I told you I can beat him to this day. And if he gets beat by Mike Tyson, people will laugh at Deontay Wilder as the dude that Mike Tyson knocked out. He would be a laughing stock. He should go back, take that fucking check, have sex, and close himself in his house with his 7 children, about to be 20, because he ain't gonna do nothing else but make babies after that, and just forget about the public world because he can't go anywhere after that. Man, that's that dude that got beat by Mike at old age. People are gonna talk shit about him. You know what I mean? Gino85, yo, what's up? It's been a while since I caught a live stream. Trouble is, buddy, with Mike now is along. Could he stand toe to toe? I don't know if he could stand. So that's my thing. But here's the thing: with the defense that he has, I don't think that he probably would have to. You know, because like someone like Andy Ruiz would probably much be a pretty good fight. You know, yeah, you're right. Best life. That's a good point. George Foreman wasn't all that fast. In fact, he was slow. He was slow as molasses. You know what I mean? But he was a good fighter. He hit so damn hard, but he was slow. Mike is a lot faster than George Foreman, so you're right about that. Even though George Foreman was 45 years old, he's 53, so he got him by like 8 years. You know, at that time frame, and he was still slower. But then again, to be honest, George Foreman wasn't a fast fighter anyway, so we got to look at that. You know, that would be a good one, Cheddar Chief. That would be good to see to see him train. But see, here's the thing about Ruiz. Ruiz is on the redemption list because of his inability to do certain things that he should have done when he could do it. You know? Mike Tyson versus James Toney. Look, I wouldn't want to see that fight. Because for one, James Toney, as at this stage of his life, he's punch drunk. He suffered from punches. Do you see Mike punchy? That's the thing. You don't see Mike punchy either. If Mike was punchy, people, I wouldn't even be talking about this shit. His health looks good. He was fat for a while, then he got smaller. Then you see him again. He's looking like he's putting on the weight, and the muscle mass pretty easily. But James Toney, no, he looks like a fucking black slow Santa Claus. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him fight. I don't want to see any respected fighter of the game get back in there after he took already so much punishment. Because you can see where the game took him. And where the game took him, I don't necessarily care for. And the irony of it is, James Toney had some of the best defense known to man. So, he's still punchy. That shows you. And I think he spent too much time at a heavyweight division he shouldn't have been. Sure, he can drop and stop Evander Holyfield and shit like that, but Evander was on his way out. James Toney shouldn't have never been there, people. He shouldn't have never been in heavyweight. He should have done what Roy did. Fight there one time. Okay, I'm pretty good. Now let me carry my ass back. Okay? Or let me go ahead and retire or something else, something a little bit more dignified, something else more smart, more intelligent, right? But Travis, I wouldn't even want to see him take that punishment. But then Mike is a guy that if you look at him, do you see in him any suffering from any punch drunk syndrome, any of that shit? No, I don't see any. That's one thing about Mike. He always talk fucked up because of his teeth, right? So, but not to the point where you heard him in an interview back in 90 fucking 2, and now he sounds like Rocky Balboa. We ain't saw that. So, yeah, they're the same age, but Raul, check this out, Dorian. It's different now. It's a lot different because of the punishment. See, certain people can't take punishment like other people can. Scatterrat Jones or Scattercat Jones. Shout out from Australia. Man, we've just been talking about Mike Tyson and the options. Talking about his possibilities. Who he could fight. Ruiz, Ortiz, or White can fight him. I'd like to see Ortiz since they always say Ortiz is fucking old anyway. You know what I mean? That would be pretty good. I don't know if Ortiz would actually fight him. So Ortiz is what, 41 on paper? Tyson's 53. Shit, there's still a gap. I like to see that. F-Zero, brother. Counter punch to you. Shannon the Cannon would be a game. You know what? I don't think Shannon would do it either. Because see, it's so many people that got respect for Mike as just that legend. I don't think they would want to go out and step out of their bounds, of disrespect. Because they'd be like, "I'll fight you, Mike." You know what I mean? It's not like, because Shannon Briggs is from the same neighborhood as Mike Tyson. All right, so I doubt Shannon would do that. You know. Now, John Fury. Here's the thing. I thought about that too. John Fury named his son after Mike. You think he wants to fucking fight Mike Tyson? No, no. You know what I mean? Like it would have to be for him. It would have to be something like personal or something like that. You don't name your kid after a person, then want to turn around and fight that person. You see what I'm saying? Appreciate it, F-Zero. I do what I can. Appreciate it. It's a lose-lose situation, though, fighting Tyson. It is. I do agree. You fight Tyson and he knocks you out, people are going to laugh. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to laugh. They're just laughing. Yeah, and it's true. I mean, and you beat him up, you be like, dude, you beat up Mike. You don't got no fucking, you ain't get no respect for that. What's up? Like, dude beat Mike's ass. I mean, but he's 50. So, but I'm guarantee you, it'd be some people that had, probably like some. It still would be a danger though. It's a heavyweight division, people. Even if you brought some kind of journeyman in, that journeyman could give you all types of problems because if he's accustomed to getting fighting, he's in shape. He's probably a gym rat. He just don't. Prince, watching from Belgium. Appreciate it, brother. I'd love to see Mike versus Wilder. Again, I think Wilder would be the one that steps out and said, I'll fucking fight him. Now let's say Wilder loses. He loses the Fury. You think he'll fight him then? I think Mike wins that actually. Again, people, if Wilder loses to a 53-year-old Mike Tyson, getting the belt or not wouldn't even count. Mike would just be a god. You'd have to call him G Mike. Man, oh, you don't call him Mike no more. That's God. My style is impregnable. Fucking Lennox Lewis, I want to eat your kids. I'm hungry. I think Mike wins that actually. He should fight Lennox Lewis. Now that is something. And Lennox Lewis had a lot of, he had what, about 23%? Said Lennox Lewis. Will sell fast. Yeah, I mean, if you see Mike back, people is gonna pay to watch that shit because the same people that God bless them, they're still alive. This one, those guys, they will watch that particular fighter. And he's like, oh man, he's coming back for an exhibition. I told my dad that the other day. My dad was like, "Dog shit, Mike's too old." you know. Hello from Portland, Oregon. Mike Tyson versus Klitschko. Klitschko said he wants to come back. I think Klitschko's harping on some shit, honestly. Klitschko's staying around. Now he has like the white hair on the sides and shit. Yeah, I think he wants to come back. I think he wants to break George Foreman's record. Excuse me. But I'll say this. If he comes back to the sport, like legitimately comes back to the sport and wants to take on the best or whatever, and George Foreman says, no, I don't think that's a good idea. We already know that George Foreman he has an agenda, and his agenda is he has vested interest in Klitschko not succeeding. Klitschko is what, 44? Next year, if he comes back, and next year after 45 years old, hold on, let me check this real quick, guys, because I want to make sure. How old is Vladimir Klitschko?
Vladimir Klitschko is 44 years old.
See, he's 44 years old now. Okay, he just turned 44 back in March. Well, then he would have to come back in 2022 because then he would be older. See that he'd have to wait another couple years to beat George Foreman's record because remember, George Foreman was 45 years old, 8 months. He was almost 46 when he knocked out Michael Moore and took that strap. Okay, so he would have to wait a while. It depends on what's going on in 2 years. You know, fucking Dillian White will still be waiting to fucking get his shot. You know, he said he's done too much partying, Travis. He probably has, but I mean, there's a such thing as your body recuperating. You know, there's your body's a very very amazing thing. You know, it's able to recuperate. You know, it depends on what you've done. Some things don't, but some things actually do. No, Roy Murph, I don't want to see that. Roy, I don't want to see him destroy because see, no, Frank Bruno, I don't want to see Frank Bruno get destroyed. And Frank's in good shape too. Don't get me wrong. He's still in the gym. He's staying fit and he's around these young people. You know what I mean? So he's doing well. Wilder versus Wilder. Tyson versus Wilder, but Wilder. But that was funny. Poor Dillian. Yeah, I mean, shit, he'd probably still be, he'd probably still be waiting for that shit. They'll find a way to fuck him, you know. Let's see here. It's super late in the UK and need to get some sleep, but can't. This conversation. Hey man, check it out later. Stretch Zero. You know, Mike. I think Mike can do what he wants. I think the charity bit is pretty much his best route. But that's exactly what he said. You know, everything else is speculation after that point. Honestly, you know, Ernie Shavers versus Mike. How the fuck old is Ernie Shavers now? 70? How old is Ernie Shavers?
Ernie Shavers is 75 years old.
Fuck. Dude, he was born in 45. Or 44, okay? So he'll be 76 years old this year. No fucking way. In fact, he's older than George Foreman. George Foreman's like 71. A good step in would be someone like Wallin or Brazil. No. Brazil, look, here's the thing. Now, in actuality, Wallin, I think, would be good. But Dominic Brazil, he's just a big fucking dude. So I'm looking for the welfare. I wouldn't want Dominic Brazil to haul off and catch Mike with one of them punches. You know? But then again, Mike's still dangerous, so, you know. It's like they say, those older guys, you have to beat them into submission. You do. You have to show them that you're not playing with them. You have to retire some people. And some of those lessons are hard because like a lot of these guys don't get the point. Look at Roberto Duran. Look at Roy Jones. Look at Sugar Shane Mosley. These dudes had to get their ass beat by damn near everyone to realize, like, dude, stop fucking fighting. You know, I was saying that about Roy Jones. Dude, I did a Facebook post, like a cry for help for Roy because Roy is like one of my idols. He's my idol. You know what I mean? And it hurt me to see him still fucking compete. 9-10 losses where this dude went damn near his whole fucking career without being beat. You know what I mean? They had to cheat this guy to give him a loss. And I think they were happy to give it to him. You know, that should have been a no contest, that fucking Montel Griffin thing. You know? Just the cocksucker didn't want to get off the ground when he got knocked out. You know what I mean? But, like, those guys, like, you know, they die hard, so you can't be lenient with them. So the thing is, if you're going to get in there and fight an old fighter, you have to fight them and treat them just like everyone else. Because if you don't, they're going to hurt you. They're going to fucking hurt you. You know what I mean? C-Stan, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, man, we got 100 people on the chat. We got 35 likes. Let's get 103 likes in 5 minutes. Let's go. His resume. is atrocious, and we all know it. Oh, near went most of his career without losing many rounds. Yeah, I mean, Roy just like ran out of people to fight. Why do you think Roy went up in weight? I mean, honestly, I mean, it wasn't enough for him to do at 160 at the time. He kicked every ass. Look, if like, let's look at this like this. If Roy would have stayed at 160 his whole career, do you know how many people he would end up fighting? He would end up fighting De La Hoya, um, Bernard Hopkins again, probably. You know, Jermaine Taylor, right? Um, Kelly Pavlik, you know, guys like that, you know, and that would have been a pretty good fight seeing like someone like Antonio Tarver. Antonio Tarver was a big, tall, ball-headed, long, rangy fighter that threw punches and bunches, that it was a pressure fighter and a southpaw. Kelly Pavlik was not a southpaw, but he was long and rangy. So, you know, but I don't see any of those dudes beating Roy. Sure, I don't see De La Hoya beating Roy. Fuck no. I don't see Jermaine Taylor beating Roy. You know what I mean? Even though I think it would be pretty competitive for a while until Roy hits him. Because, see, Roy was just this dynamic, athletic fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did shit. And I always wondered, I'm like, dude, Roy is better than all these dudes. You know what I mean? Andreas Martin. Counterpunch to you, brother. Oh, Roy, appreciate it, brother. Murphy, appreciate it, Murphy. I can't think of a single thing that Mike hasn't proved in the ring. I could make Mother Teresa look good on the pads for 30 seconds, but it won't make her a winner, will it? No, it won't. But it looks good, and it's viral. People believe it. Why they see it? They see things. It's Look, Mike looks good. He looks dynamic, but it was only one. I would like to see him do, some sessions, some circuits of that same thing. You see where his stamina is. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying. You could make anyone, da 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 da, But could I just do what I just did 10 fucking times, 20 times? You know what I mean? Again, da 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 da, again, da 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 da. Now, if they start filming on that like that 10th one, how good will I look? Damn, dude. Dude looks kind of slow, you know? Mike versus Rivas, no. Ant Son, again, I'm not trying to put Mike in there with no fucking killer. No current killer. Oscar Rivas is a fucking killer. I think he's part cyborg. Let me plug this up. But no, he's a cyborg. Okay, here we go. Mitts, don't hit back. God of War. Counterpunch to you. That's true. Why doesn't Mike Tyson go get Kevin like he does not even speak about Kevin only cuss? I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship they had after that, because it kind of got messy for a while. Because, Kevin didn't take any shit. He didn't. And we all know what happened to whatchamacallit. Andreas, he does, right? Looks like a fucking Egyptian pharaoh or something like that. He does. He does look like he's from fucking Morocco or some shit, But no, he's one of those dudes. Now, this is what I will say. I would love Mike to train someone like Oscar Rivas. That would be very beneficial to someone like Oscar. You know what I mean? To teach him how to turn on these punches instead of trying to go headstrong in with, he's just this tough, durable fighter. But he's taking too much punishment and he doesn't need to. He needs to get under those punches. Like when Dillian White was fighting him, he was popping him with that jab and setting him up with that right hand. He was just outworking him because he was keeping him at the end of the punches. But Oscar Rivas, if he learned how to dip under those punches, cut the ring off, bop, bop, catch this guy, he could have knocked out Dillian White. He had the power to do it. He caught him with an uppercut, and look, and there was shades of the Joshua fight. It was shades of that shit. So yeah, Oscar Rivas is dangerous, bro. I think he just needs the proper training. I don't think he's getting it up there. I don't think he's getting it up there at all. Yo, D-Town Blaster, check this out. My router's out. They got to fix my router on the 6th, which is Wednesday. But I will get with you. You come around every so often. I'll text you on the thing, and then I don't hear nothing from you. But I will. We will get it on. Tekken Tag is on my stream, but I can't play it because on PS Now, so it takes the internet to do so. So I can't watch TV or no shit. I think I'll go outside for a run or something after this. I just got my, internet from my cell phone. That's what's going on with this. So, sad. Rivas versus Hunter in the U.S. I would come across the pond for that. Reverend Pickles, I would love to see that fight. And I would give that fight to Rivas. I know Hunter has speed, but that's not gonna stop someone like Rivas, because we already seen what an older Povetkin can do to Hunter. I see that fight bar none. I would put money, $200 on Oscar Rivas. If Hunter if he could beat Rivas, he would very much be making a statement in the heavyweight division. Absolutely. And then that'll make someone like Dillian White's stats go down, right? Because it's about who the fighters you've beat and what they do after you beat them. See, if they keep beating other fighters, well, that just makes your stock rise. But if they start losing, that makes you beat them, but then someone else already has too, if that makes sense. I would like to see Ruiz versus Kaunaki. Yeah, that would be good. That would be actually probably a fight of the year. Two fat motherfuckers just throwing. You know what I mean? Like a polar bear versus an ape. And they're fucking throwing them bows. Yep. I'd like to see that. Rivas and Ruiz, I heard they fought in the amateurs. Yeah. And Rivas beat Ruiz too. So that should tell you something. So, hey, Dillian White beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs. Dennis Ugas beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs. So, it's a lot of wars people don't really think about and talk about. Ruiz versus Kaunaki. Poor Kaunaki. I don't know. I mean, Kaunaki, he will get hit, but so will Ruiz. But it depends. Kaunaki might be one of those shot fighters now. He might be that guy when he starts getting knocked out, he's going to stay getting knocked out. It happens. Look at Fernando Vargas. Fernando Vargas took his first professional loss to Felix Trinidad, right? And I think it was this guy. He was a Puerto Rican fighter that I think Ramirez, I think his name was, because that same Ramirez fought De La Hoya and lost to De La Hoya, but his very next fight, he fought this guy. He got dropped with a straight, solid right hand out of nowhere, and Ramirez is not known for to be a hellified fighter like that. Wilfredo Rivera. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck I got Ramirez from. But he stopped Rivera. But Rivera dropped his ass in like the third round. It was a clean right hand. Bah! Oh! And that just lets you know that Fernando Vargas was still suffering from that damage that he took from that Trinidad fight. He went down 5 times. Twice in the first round and 3 times in the last round. but he put up a hell of a fight in between. You got to give it to Fernando Vargas. Shouts out to that brother because he showed heart. He dropped Felix Trinidad in the fourth round. Felix Trinidad gave him some ball shots. One a left hook, a left uppercut to the right testicle, and then a right uppercut to the other testicle. He ball broke him. You know what I mean? Yeah, Ruiz does have that chin though. So if it came down to the wire, I would bet on Ruiz to fight. But we have to see where Ruiz is at, honestly. You know what I mean? Because Ruiz is that guy that we don't know. He's still uncertain. He still has to redeem himself. He has to show that he has discipline. He has to show that he still wants to fight. We don't know what the fuck he really wants to do at this point. So until then, he's gonna be a redeemer needer. He's gonna be a redeemer needer. you know. Think about Hergovic versus Ruiz or Kaunaki. Not bad. Yeah, Jim, that's right too. That's one thing about Fernando Vargas. Again, somebody that should have got out of the fucking game a long time ago. See, 2000 was a long time ago, and at the time he was 20-0. He lost to Felix Trinidad, right? He beat Rivera, Flores. He lost to De La Hoya in 11th. He caught that left hook in the 10th round. Oscar did that shit because he hated Oscar, right? He won to Vanderpool, Marshall, Joval, Castillejo, right? Then he lost to Sugar Shane Mosley back to back, then Ricardo Mayorga, then shutting it down. Now, he got out of the game in 2007, but yeah, he sounds like shit. And I don't like it, and it saddens me to see fighters like that. Who are we talking about? Word of the day. Oh, Rivera. Worked as a security guard for some time. Once his boxing career was over, he faced a divorce from his wife and was fired from the job as a security guard. Ended up homeless for some damn time. Damn. He was born with a stuttering condition. Oh, man. I didn't know that. But I really wasn't talking about Rivera, though. But that's shitty. That happened to him. So that tells you that he didn't have any money on reserve. That either his wife or whoever, spent his money, or the manager swindled him out of it. That type of shit that Michael Moore was saying about how boxers and how managers take a lot of that money and the percentages and the trainers and the taxes and the promoters and the shit like that. That you really don't get left with a lot of money like people think. So, can't wait till this pandemic thing is over. Kurt himself can go and start his interviews with top fighters. If you plan, I heard some other streams, then I wish you luck with that. Yeah, I was thinking about reaching out to people like from right here because we don't know when this shit's gonna last. Because see, what we need to understand about the pandemic is people are just getting tired of being at home. That doesn't mean the shit's gonna get better overnight. It's gonna get worse because the moment everyone's saying, okay, fuck it, go ahead and go back out and go do shit, go, do this or whatever, do what you do. You're gonna see a rise again, and it's gonna scare people, so they're gonna go back into hiding. But I think the problem will be at that point is that they won't have the help, they won't have the security or the support that they have now, especially in the US. Like, yeah, people are getting stimulus and all that shit. But when that runs out and they go back to work, then you get sick, then people won't be as lenient because they're going to be like, nah, well, you got to stay at home, but we can't take care of you and we can't pay you because the government because we don't have to, because the government ain't giving us no more money. You're going to have to take 6 days or some shit like that. No, that's crazy, man. I didn't know that. Damn. Wilfredo. That's crazy. What is it? Sad enough money to make Ruiz lazy. What? Or Max? Wilder will retire when KO. Daniel, it looks like it. It looks like that he's looking like that he's trying to retire. You know, if you're planning on doing interviews, then start now. Nobody is doing anything right now. Always do it when everyone has plenty of time. I love to see you do them. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I was thinking about that. I was running yesterday, and I was like, I think I'll add, reach out to the publicist of Anthony Joshua, because it's kind of hard just getting, those guys get so many inboxes and shit that would be the best route. And it's probably best time when Joshua's like, dude, I'm just sitting around chilling. Bradley Bryson, counterpunch to you. Um, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Just reach out to these guys or whatnot. Jedi Knight, what's up? Counterpunch to you. Um, that's a good idea. I was thinking that as I was running yesterday. I think it's a perfect time for a run because it's only 7:29 here, and the days are getting longer, so we still got light outside. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Money isn't the measure of man. It's a diversion. Only so much in life we can own. And then what? I feel Ruiz was diverted. Lesson learned. Yep, that's it. You know what I mean? We got to see though. I don't want to just throw him under the bus, like right now because I want to see what he can do. But I see the spark is gone. He's done what he said he's going to do, and he did that shit. The Andy Ruiz story. That's it. You know what I mean? There's nothing much. I mean, like, they could make a movie on Andy Ruiz getting fucked up, eating a lot, drinking, partying with his friends in South California. But he had a dream. He wanted to be the first Mexican American heavyweight ever. You know, Hostess Twinkies or cupcakes couldn't stop this dedicated and determined fighter. He went through life owing, hurting, starving, but he finally got his opportunity. The Andy Ruiz story. Stay tuned. Yeah. Right? He beats Anthony Joshua, and then the fucking credits roll. He gets rich, he buys his mom a fucking house, then the credits roll. You did it, mijo. Fucking credits roll. The end. You know? Because you can't really say shit about that story if he doesn't do anything after that. Right? In a world for Mexican Americans who says you can't have a heavyweight champion? That type shit. What I mean is how much money would it take for Ruiz? I'm saying this because if any fight that gives him millions will put him that way, not just AJ. But see, here's the thing though. You don't understand. He's not taking the fights. He didn't want the Ortiz fight. I don't know how much Heyman would do for him. I think he could get about 3 million, 4 million maybe. At least 3, to fight Ortiz. But Ortiz got 1.5, so that should tell you about. But Ruiz, he's a former champion, right? Sweet Caroline rolling the credits. Sweet Caroline. No, I'm gonna tell you what they would be playing. They wouldn't be playing that shit. They would be playing that song that he came out with. The Mexican anthem. I forget how it goes, but they'll be playing the Mexican, a national anthem. Cuando tierra se besaron. Right? So they'll be playing that at the end and be like, oh, yeah, that's good, Kurt, please tell us which fighter got you into boxing, and this sweet science that we love and hate so much. Carlton, that's a good fucking question. My father, really. We watched boxing because I remember fights like Sugar Ray Leonard and Mike Tyson. Those are the earliest that I can remember. Now, I started boxing at age 8. I started martial arts at age 6. But I started boxing at age 8 because my dad used to box in the army. And then his dad used to box. And then my uncle used to box. So we was like kind of a, semi-boxing family, But I always stayed athletic or whatever. But I mean, it was boxing. It was like martial arts because I was a big Van Damme fan, and then later in the '90s, well, early '90s, then you had Wesley Snipes and shit like that. To go. I didn't get into like Hapkido until later on when I just started MMA. But boxing, it was it was my father. It wasn't really looking at a fighter. I mean, I just seen how I just liked slipping the jab, countering over the jab. Learning certain things like that. Boxing fundamentals, things you do, things you don't do, certain punches you throw, certain knowing what punches that you can get knocked the fuck out, like throwing an uppercut and getting caught with a left hook. As a result of the counter punch. Counter punching is so important because it's one of the things that can knock you straight out. That's what my idea was, counter punch, because it's always about something else coming back at you. It's one thing to punch someone in the face, right? But it's another thing to try to punch someone in the face, shit coming. Like, let me give you guys an example. It's easy for a guy to come into a store and shoot up a bunch of people, right? Coward, 100%. But it's another thing for that motherfucker to come in that same store and everybody else got a gun. You see where I'm going with that? Like, you don't want to go into, I'm going to kill everyone in here. You wouldn't do that shit if you knew everyone was strapped, would you? Fuck no, you're going to get shot. You're going to turn in, oh shit! You know what I mean? Like, look, when you can get punched back, it makes things fair. But back to counterpunching. Counterpunching was my thing. It's like, hey, what are you going to do? Overcommit. Aikido is the same thing, using someone else's, force, or attacks against the other, But, yeah, but it was my father, First fight I ever paid for. Ooh, that's a good one, Vic. It had to be a Roy Jones Jr. or Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah. Because I got all those fights. Like, I had all the Don King fights. But I think it was in 96. Because remember HBO back in the day, if you could watch the pay-per-view this Saturday, then the next Saturday used to come on. So, a lot of people just waited, right? Man, it would be really much better for Wilder if could show his face and make a little interview and set things straight. In my opinion, the longer he waits, the more worse it gets. Well, some people not built like that. And some people, they're, they show their time moves on. And he's showing he has a poor character. Like Wilder just, I don't know. I mean, and he wasn't always like that, people. So don't believe the hype. Even if he believed his own hype, that's one thing. But I don't even think he really knows. I think he's just a totally different person away from the cameras. You know what I mean? I think that's, I think he's very passionate, Everybody was kung fu fighting. Hell yeah. Why is Don King still alive? God of War, because that motherfucker eats right. He don't let shit stress him, apparently. Don King's up there. He's, he was fucking, him and Bob Arum were rivals way back in the 60s. You know what I mean? That's so cool, dude. You had a good relationship with your father. Yeah, it was cool. Like, he called me by accident today and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we'll watch a fight every so often. You know what I mean? It's cool. Opa Ja 5E. Yeah, I miss boxing too, honestly. Now I can't even watch the shit on TV. Now it's just a Black Mirror. Frank Warren stated that Dubois beats Wilder now if they were to fight. I can see. I mean, look, it's a heavyweight division. I just want to see if Dubois gets knocked out by that punch or not. And I'm talking about that punch where that right hand, that he's been knocking people out with. And I actually just finished a video, and it was about Wilder. So check that out. I mean, how good is the right hand now? You do believe what Bob Arum was saying about Fury and Ali. I personally think Fury would have battered Ali. Well, I tell you this: Fury 6'9", Teofimo Stevenson was about 7'1", and you have to remember something. Which Ali are we talking about? See, people remember Ali in fighting Foreman. That wasn't a prime Ali, people. The prime Ali was probably about 64, 65. Yeah. Um, Ali was probably quick enough. He was athletic enough to give anybody problems. You know? Vic, that's a good point. We never seen him hurt, and that's the problem and danger of a tough fighter. Because a lot of these fighters don't have the experience to know what to do when they get hurt. They just get hurt, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? What they hit me with, right? Motherfuckers cheating. Oh my God, what's wrong with my legs, right? Yeah, I seen that shit, Andreas. Yeah, he was sitting there looking all but like all fucking high. He was high. Now he knows he smokes pot. So he's probably smoking up a storm now. I need some more reefer. Tell the son of a bitch to get the Pineapple Express. I like the way it makes me feel. I don't get tired after 12 after smoking it. I'll give him a 68, Luca. I give him a 68 at this point. I'll destroy Fury. I'm too small. Hey, yeah, Bob smokes. He smokes pot. You didn't hear that? Yeah, Bob smokes pot. He gets down and dirty with the hemp. He's a lover of hemp. And I don't mean the clothes. He's a lover of it. He likes it. Bobby Chong. Hell yeah. You guys be smoking weed. So weed can't be too bad for you. I tell you. It can't be. You know? So you know what I think about though? I think about people like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And they called him busting weed. He's kind of like, well, fuck, dude, I could have had a license to smoke. I still don't think they would allow that though. You know. But no, but back to Mike though, man. Mike, another smoker, another lover of the hemp. I wonder like if they're gonna allow him to keep smoking too. I think I brought that up already. With Mike. You know, why is there always ladies at the start of your videos? They're just like, something to spice the channel up. A lot of them are friends of mine, ex-girlfriends or whatever, you know what I mean? Long lost friends, long-term friends or whatnot. And, they wanted to help the channel and I wanted something live for the intro. Because for a while I didn't have intros. Exactly. Hot box with Iron Mike, baby, smoking. Let me tell you, I used to have sex with my fans. It's like, damn, Mike, he said he used to slam his fans. He used to send me letters and pictures. I used to just send them on. I used to fly them in and have sex and fornicate with them. Remember he was on there. He was on there with Andy Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz was just kind of like, I'm just thankful. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm here with Mike Tyson, one of my idols, and I don't know. And then people, do the ask, dude, have you had fans to throw themselves at you, Andy? My wife would kick my ass. Out of nowhere, Mike was like, I used to have sex with my fans. I used to have sex with them. I used to fornicate with my fans. And Andy was like, you just seen Andy was like, He's like, what do I say to that? You forgot you're talking to Mike Tyson, motherfucker. He might tell you anything. This motherfucker was sucking my dick. Then she vomited. And I kicked her out of the house. Type of shit like that. I liked it when you had no intro, straight to the action. Yeah, a lot of people liked it or don't. You know what? And I try to get different intros. I try to like just have them like 6 seconds or whatever. I don't want to have a long drawn out intro. I don't want that shit because then people lose interest. People's attention span is very small. But then I thought, well, maybe some of the models might spice it up a little bit. Some hype music behind it. You know. So please leave the pretty girls in your videos. Oh, okay, yeah. It's just, hey man, it each his own. But Nadi, counterpunch to you. If you look at Mike Tyson, it seems like the cannabis has helped him so much, but for some, it seems like it's not that good. Probably it depends on as a person. Yeah, it does. And I think it's how much too. I believe on this planet, or there once upon a time was, every sickness or illness could be solved by something that's already here. I believe that. If the shit was in the rainforest and they're destroying it, well, they're just destroying the antidotes to save mankind. And man can't live without certain things naturally, right? Because if they get sick, then what are you going to do? I don't think chemicals are the way at all. I don't think cocaine should have been like manufactured. I think the shit's like a leaf, like weed. That's where it comes from, right? So, but I think it was for something. I don't think it's supposed to be just abused. You know. You please watch old Mike Tyson interviews. To any who have not, you will thank me later. Yeah, that's right. Word of the day. He did live his life. He's living the life. You know. Intros are good. Make it tighter. I'm trying. I try to make different ones. Like I'll go to a country and I'll talk to models or whatever. And then get them to model for me or whatnot. I want to do actual more videos, steals with them and stuff like that. You know. Sporting advantage, big up, bro. Counterpunch to you. The problem with the intro is that after watching it, boxing ain't on my mind. Hey, Nick. That's it, man. But think of it like this. Look at it like a live fight, and you see the Corona girls, or the Sapa, or the Zakat, what is it, Takate girls, right? So you have these chicks. They're beautiful, So it kind of be like, oh man, that was a good. Oh, look at that. Damn, look at that, man. So it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. So um, I thought that might spice it up. So, but I'm starting with new shirts. The shirts, it's been they've been selling here and there, so it's been going pretty good. I can't complain. I can only be thankful at the end of the day. Spank bank. It's all about the right footage, Jim. All medications are chemicals, and it's good that we control these chemicals to our advantage, be leafy or synthetic. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Kurt, would you pick for who would you pick for Mike if you were his manager? Keep the ladies, mate. I will. Thank you. Somebody already retired. I think what was sell him and Vander Holyfield. Yeah, 4 rounder. Evander Holyfield. Just going in there, and doing what they do. 4 rounds or six. 6 rounds would be good because a nice exhibition. It would sell like crazy. They could market it. Hey, Vander Holyfield. I mean Vander Holyfield, the real deal versus Iron Mike 3. The trilogy, the legacy continues, shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it could sell. It would do very good. You say girls are more important than boxing. I'm shocked. I did not say that. I did not say that, but you know. Daisy should show Joshua some explosive movement training, pure experience. Joshua sign him up. That would be cool. I think just Joshua would just be like ecstatic to hang around, Mike, because I think because I think because he's not over in the states a lot. I think he just can't, you know, um, get that type of footage. Yeah, Lennox Lewis too. Yeah, that would be or I would rather see Lennox Lewis. I don't know. Lennox is smoking his ass off too. He comes to the damn thing all fucked up. You know, he's calling people the wrong names and shit. You know, like dude, yeah, Johnny's doing good. Who the fuck is Johnny? Oh, yeah, I mean Rodney. Fuck. Oh, Tyson and Holyfield. Yeah, take back the bites. Yeah, sparring with a living legend. Shannon going all out. Shannon the Cannon. He's gonna be the bare knuckle in a bare knuckle fight. I can't wait to see that shit. And Shannon's dangerous, dude. I think he'll beat you up and hurt you. You know, I think he really will. But no, if I was his manager, I would try to get like sign up Holyfield for an exhibition bout. Tyson versus Princess St. Something funny? It's probably about the same fucking weight now. Because Princess Seam is a fat ass toad looking motherfucker now, man. I'm like, dude, I know you used to be a legend and all that shit, but come on, man. I think that's the saddest thing ever, man. I think because one thing about me, I'm a vain motherfucker. Like I respect people in shape because I know what it's like to work hard, to train, to be a certain condition. And one thing I can't stand is like, I mean, anybody, not just women, men, you like cut up and shit, and then now you're just like fat and out of shape, dude. You got to have some type of happy medium. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some type of balance where you're like, dude, yeah, I used to be ripped, but then I couldn't do that shit every day, but I'm still, you can still see, okay, you still have definition for not to be going hard as you used to when you were an athlete. You know what I mean? So I don't respect people that just fuck. I'm 300 pounds. Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it didn't occur to you to train. So that's one of my pet peeves. So like a lot of chicks that I know he went to school with or something like that. Then they come. I'm putting you forward, Kurt. Get the gloves on. Counterpunch to you, Stephen White. But then yeah, you got to watch the diet. I mean, you do. But then it's like, but that's the difference though. It'd be one thing if you had some type of disorder early on in life, so that's something you always dealt with. Not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that were in fucking shape, that knew what to do, that did this routinely, did this as a way of life, and then they stopped doing that for whatever reason, besides being injured. Now you can't do nothing about it if you're injured, if you're physically, but I mean you just sit home and eat fucking, and then you just and then like you're a chick. Let's say you're a woman, and then you want to show fucking pictures from 2008. Like, dude, you don't look like that no more. Stop. Dude, you're like 250 fucking pounds now. You're not 170. You know what I mean? You're trying to trick people looking at pictures. No, we see that shit, and it's not you anymore. You're somebody else. Who hit harder? Shavers, Tyson, Bo, Foreman, Wilder. I don't know. They say Shavers, but then just because you can hit harder doesn't mean you doesn't make you automatic. Because like, people can deal with power too. It's just dangerous, but I mean you can. Christy Alley, yep, Christy Alley. That's exactly. And she used to, I used to have a crush on her. I used to watch that shit before I go to bed. My parents used to let me watch. I think Arsenio Hall, then Cheers used to come on after that, and I used to watch her. I love those beautiful blue eyes and shit. She was hot, and she wasn't like a skinny ass chick, but she was fine. But yeah, she got fat as shit. Janet Jackson had that problem for a while. And I think when Janet Jackson's said and done, she's gonna be like bread. Fuck you. Stop the bread and you magically lose weight. Hey, that's true. That's why I eat thin crust. I just slaughter some thin crust. I'm not as bad off. Mike should just KO Kevin Johnson first fight back. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, but look at Holyfield don't look bad, and that's the perfect thing. Holyfield is like he just naturally like just thick dude. DK counterpunch to you. Big up to you, brother. Power needs accuracy, otherwise it's pointless. Ask Wilder. Yep. Ask fucking Ernie Shavers. He couldn't knock out Ali, but he was supposed to be. Wilder's starting to learn that. Like that shit doesn't mean everything. Yeah, so because you saw she gained too much weight. Like, I think her best times in the '90s was when she did that movie with Tupac where she had to gain weight like 50 pounds, and she got it all in her hips and ass, and she looked good. But then I think that fuck all that bullshit I was eating, trying to stay a certain way for a certain image. You know what I mean? But hey, you know, they got this Spanish saying, cada uno por su lado, right? So that's, some people might love it, some people won't. So somebody for everybody. Absolutely. Kurt, is there a Kurt Jr. yet, dude? No, I got a daughter. I got a daughter. I thought I had a son, but no, don't. Liar. Do. I love boxing in general for the entertainment, and I always believe that an O doesn't make a fighter great. I believe the heart of a fighter makes them great. You win some, you lose some. Jordan Benson, you are absolutely right, and I think people need to understand that. Anthony Joshua, I think, understands that. I don't think Deontay has caught on to that yet. And you know what's sad about Deontay, though? You can go back and look at some interviews of Deontay Wilder, and he will say like, "Oh well, if I lose, I'm just lose." Remember that? You don't remember him saying any of that? Well, I lost. I mean, we all lose. That type of shit. Now he can't even say the fucking yeah. I was something was wrong that night. I don't know. I was off. I just wasn't me. That wasn't me. To this day. To this day. Joshua Lil John, what's up, brother? Salute. Counterpunch to you, Joshua. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. This is. I don't know. I think that Mike can fight whoever he wants, but I want him to make the right decision. But charity sounds good. But even for that, because see, here's the one thing. Sport is the boxing that I love. That I punch it to you, brother. Like he's an icon. I feel the same way about Manny Pacquiao. To anyone that listens, I've been saying Manny Pacquiao needs to retire. Triple G needs to retire. Roy Jones Jr. should have retired a long time ago, which he finally did. Thank God. It's fighters that I don't want to see take a lot of punishment because they've already gave us so much. They gave us so much. The entertainment, the performances, the victories, the losses. They gave us all they had in the ring. Why the fuck would you keep doing it until you're injured or you can't even be with your family? You know what I mean? Like, they deserve just as much as we sitting on our ass watching TV. Okay? So if you know anything about fighting, that shit can damage you. It's violent. Full contact, Shaggy. Defense. It wasn't me. Was it me? See you butt naked, banging on the bedroom floor. See you knocked out in the 7th round, banging on the bath. No, he's not. Oh, man. Curtis, you think Charlo was a more effective fighter at 154? You mean Jamal? I mean, if he was or not, I mean, he didn't do anything. None of them have. I think those guys don't know. See, they don't understand. They will just be guys that used to box, and nobody will give a shit about them when they retire unless they do something. So that's that. Those guys, been twins, and I know they tried to market each other themselves because one didn't want to fight the other. The Klitschko's did that. I get that. They don't want to fight each other. I wouldn't want them to fight each other. The only brother that I want to see that said he would fight his brother would fucking Deontay with that crazy shit. But most brothers that love each other don't want to do it. Want to get in the ring. Why do that to each other? But they should show us something. Stop turning down fights. Get your ass in the ring. Stop pretending like you're the shit. And when you ain't fought nobody, that's both Charlo and then Jermell got upset. Okay, so but he fight Laura now. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, and even that, Laura was like when he was real tight with those Charlos, but those Charlos were like younger kids then. Fucking Lara's like 36 years old. He should retire, honestly. I think, and I hope he's made enough money, for his wife. Has a gorgeous wife and beautiful family and stuff like that. I hope he's made enough and put enough steaks in the freezer. But I think it's time for him to hang it up. You know what I mean? Go train. Go train other Cubans that defected from Cuba. Train them. Help them. Encourage them. Motivate them. Mentor them. Don't be that guy that stays too long. Then you see him. Hey, yo siento bien, mi amigo. Yo siento bien, I said it. What? You know what I mean? Fucking 5 years before. Yo siento bien, I said it. You go from that to yo siento bien, I said it. Like, what the fuck? What'd you say? Huh? It's crazy. Got relatives and shit. You go to Miami, and it's like they talk with like shit in their mouth, I was like, huh? Yeah, but anyway, you got like, but back to the Charlos, honestly, they need to fight these guys and make a sacrifice to be great. They won't do that. They'll never be known. If they never be known, they won't make the money that they say they make, and they don't make it. That's it. Said about Charlos. I mean, Kurt, do you think some fighters going on too long is an addiction? Yeah. I don't think they know how to. I think honestly, there should be a fighter dedicated, committed, to, because this is another word I'm looking for, but they're just dedicated and convinced that, hey, this is my calling to help fighters get out of the game when they still can, regardless of what people say, regardless, help them get out, help them, or could really do that really well. I know everyone's not a commentator worthy or doesn't have that ability to talk in front of a screen or whatever, and give his counterpunching in interviews and journalism or whatever. But I think there should be someone that is an ambassador for the people or the fighters that dedicated a lot of their life and their career in the ring, and how to acclimate and adjust to a world without boxing. And I think in that, I think it should be physical sessions, because I think what it is, they're just addicted to the training, the hustle and bustle. But that doesn't mean you can't train. I think training is very good, but some boxing training is harmful to your body also. It does a lot of damage. That shit has wears and tears. Why do you think fighters, get injured in training camp? Because a lot of shit they're getting conditioned to do actually is a hindrance on their body. David Hayes said it best. He's like doing low rate stuff, and it's good. You're doing enough that your body can handle. I think that would be one of the antidotes. Like, look at Tyson Fury. When he isn't fighting anyone, he's still training. He's still riding a bike. He's still jogging. He's still doing things that make them feel good. When you work out, endorphins are released in your body, and it's making you feel good about it. Like, I felt great after I ran yesterday. My heart was pumping, sweat was coming down, but I felt great. Why do you think The Rock is always what I mean? Guys, I just want you to see how grateful I am, that you guys reached out to me, and I just want to let you guys know that I appreciate each and every one of you, as I take my shot of my known tequila brand, my 2 shots a day. Oh, well, look, I would love to see that. Thurman and Broner, that would be a good fight. I would like to see that. And I ain't never seen Broner turn down any fight, honestly. So, word of the day. Yeah, Sugar Ray. And Sugar Ray Leonard had no business getting in there with Hector Macho Camacho. He had no business getting in there with that guy at all. Yeah, he is a bit punch drunk. You're right, Mark. If you listen to him, yeah, he said, my mama said that, you don't want to be fighting with no. Let me stop. Let me stop that shit. Let me stop. But I mean, he does sound like that, honestly. Honestly. I heard him. I was like, damn, dude, you sound like, he sounds like a young child, you know? And I see the effects. But he went on too long, way too long. So, yeah, he joins that list. You know what I mean? Gretna, what's up, brother? Boxing God number 7, counterpunch to you. But no, I think that these fighters are fighting too long, man. And Manny, he should retire. I don't want to see Manny. If Manny's gonna fight anyone, let me show you who Manny should fight. Okay. Let me show you who he should fight. That man. You guys see that man? You see that man to the left of him? That's who he should fight. That's the only person he should fight ever if he was going to have another professional fight. I don't want to see him fight no fucking young ass Spence. I don't want to see him fight Keith Thurman because he's beat him already. I don't want to see him fight no one like Danny Garcia. Just he would win just because he's probably younger, like he did Eric Morales. Remember that? And he did that shit twice. I want to see him fight that guy right there. That guy to the left in the left poster. Okay? Mayweather. First name Floyd. Last name Mayweather. Jr. That's the only person that I would really care for him to fight. Why? Because they're the same fucking age. That man. Okay? That guy. Now, that's the only person that I would want to see. You know what I mean? Yeah, but he does sound like that, Jim. You listen to Evander Holyfield, he references his mom a lot, and he's saying, now let me stop. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to go there. On the Relay Ring IQ Boxing Talk Show. I mean, they're pretty informative. They talk some hot topics there. You know what I mean? They got a lot of people. It's more to Ring IQ. Share a story with you guys with Ring IQ. Ring IQ, just like Counterpunch Boxing News, we all started. I don't know if I know I started my YouTube channel and on Facebook, but I was more popular for a while on Facebook than I was on YouTube because I spent a lot of time there, and it was a lot of forums. You had Ring IQ, but before you had Ring IQ, you had IODBA. I'm on that bullshit. This cat out of Texas, and he was, I'm on that bullshit again, right? And it was catchy, and it had like 10,000 members and stuff like that. And then I was a part of that. A guy named Jules, which is the head of IQ, and a lot of other guys. Jay Calderon's Boxing Talk. Shout out to him. He's a good brother. But then, like, a lot of us were in that platform. Okay, so he had thousands of members. And then I had my own channel, and I made my own videos, and I used to, share it on that page, and we used to go back and forth with, certain comments and feedback and what have you. Well, IOTBA and Jules got into this big ass argument. They went like, I don't know who the fighter was, but they just fucking fell off. So they fell off. And Jules started Ring IQ. Him and some other cats, they started Ring IQ. And then IODBA just kind of stayed where he was at. You know what I mean? So, hold on, let me see. This is the IQ channel, dude. Okay. But, well, anyway. And then he started Ring IQ there. And then I was cool to everybody, but they did not get along anymore. And then Jules went to YouTube. And then that's where he's been, and that's kind of where everyone kind of plateaued with their platforms and stuff like that. But it all started with IOTBA, So, and then that's a little backstory about that whole thing, So T Street used to be with the other guys too. Yeah, I remember T Street. T Street used to be But he like T Street is an OG. He was like on YouTube way before, like I mean, a couple years, because I was listening to him about 13, 14, back in the years of 13, 14, and I didn't start my channel until early 15. So I decided to make my YouTube channel and start you know talking about counterpunching boxing and stuff like that. But he was around long before everybody. So and I actually met him at a New York event. It was like a Lara fight where Lara fought Gucci, and we linked up and stuff. It was cool, talked a bit or whatnot. But yeah, that started with everything started pretty much from Facebook to me. As far as that goes. Well, I don't know. I mean, he had problems. Andrew Galata, he just shouldn't. I don't know. He something was wrong with him upstairs. I can't remember. Can't remember the guys he used to be with. I don't either. I mean, yeah, he was with T Street was with what's the name of those people? It was I used to remember because I used to see it. It was something I can't remember either. I don't remember, but I know he was with those dudes, and then they fucked him over or something. So he started doing his own thing. So um, it wasn't fight hype. It wasn't no shit like that. It was I can't remember. I can't remember either. But it's good that I can't remember because they ain't shit no more. They ain't shit without him. So he went on, did his own things. Yeah, Maypac too. That looks like the best fight that Manny Pac. See, and then look, Manny Pacquiao wanted to fight Floyd again anyway. That's why he signed with Al Heyman. He wouldn't have signed with Al Heyman if it wasn't um, for the Floyd fight. Because remember, it was that viral video. They were both in Tokyo at the same time. Floyd just played for Manny to sign with Al Heyman. And what Manny did was he tricked Manny into signing with him because he thought he was going to fight. But he's like, hey, dude, you got to fight someone else first, and you get the winner out of that kind of build time or whatever. So he got in there with La Máquina, right? Matisse. So Matisse got beat 7 rounds stoppage. He didn't want no more, no mas, right? Then Floyd was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want that. I already beat him, right? But little does he know that he actually rejuvenated Manny Pacquiao's career by doing that shit because Manny ain't lost since. Manny's whooped all these motherfuckers. Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, blah. Right? So it is what it is. Enter the arena. Yeah, that's it. It was. I know it was something like that, some shit like that. I don't know what they're doing right now. Probably ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? Because I don't even hear from them or about them. They pop nowhere up on my boxing feeds at all. So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But no, that's the backstory on that. But back to Mike. I recommend something like Evander Holyfield because that's always something that, yeah, he bit the ear, he fouled, but a lot of people did want to see that fight. So to see guys do that again, you know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. Boxing Logic United. Peace and pugilism. What's up, brother? Kurt the Don. Counterpunch to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. But no, man, I don't want to see Mike go in there. I don't want to see Mike go in there. And if you guys haven't subscribed to Boxing Logic United, subscribe. That's a good channel right there. But I think Mike really should like fight someone his own age. I don't want to see him with no young dudes. And then, I do agree with George Foreman. He ain't got nothing to prove. But, him coming back to the sport of boxing, it just gives a light. It shines a light on boxing where the light was bright when Mike was fighting. When Mike was fighting, shit was lit. Remember what Michael Moore said? Shit was lucrative in the 90s. Mike was a part of that shit. Mike was a reason for that shit. Mike was probably the highest paid athlete or heavyweight at that time. Think about it. Who was getting paid like Mike Tyson? But money was lucrative. So was boxing, right? So, It is what it is. So I think that Mike coming back, it just shines like, damn, Mike Tyson's coming back. Then people get all nostalgic and they think about, dude, remember Mike used to knock motherfuckers out? I would take a piss, come back, fight over. You know what I mean? So it's like one of them things, like welcome back, Mike. Um, I don't know when Blue Blood started his channel. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know when he started. Uh, yeah, I don't know anything. I didn't research that hard on Blue Blood like that, so I don't know when he started. There's talks of another McGregor versus Mayweather fight. There should be. It made so much fucking money. It's the second highest like grossed fighter ever. Shit was like 4.4. Maypac did what, 4.6 million pay-per-view buys worldwide? Dude, that's record breaking. Nah, yeah, Floyd ain't stupid. He knows where that money comes from. I think that competitive nature of Floyd, I don't want to, I don't fall for the bullshit. Remember Manny, my shoulder, because my shoulder, I couldn't throw it as much, you know, and Floyd was like, hey, fuck that, you know, I'm not fighting with him anymore. But dude, you just made 30, oh, sorry, $300 million. So, dude, you know what I mean? He knows where the money is, and he wouldn't have made that money fighting nobody else. So we talk about Floyd all the time, but we don't talk about why he was awarded that amount of fucking money at one night. It wasn't just Floyd, people, it's the person he was fighting. And it would be a different thing if fucking Manny would have made like $10 million compared to his 300 million. Then we could say it was all Floyd. But no, Manny made what, 160? Over 100, right? Made a lot of money, man. So, or 160, 180. It was some money, dude. Between them, that was like that night, damn, $500 million between the two of those guys, if not $500 million. Shit, it's a lot of money. But yep, Tyson was the highest paid athlete for a few years back then. Yep. See, that's the thing. Because I can't even think about. I know it wasn't Lennox Lewis. It wasn't Vander Holyfield. Surely fuck wasn't Riddick Bowe. Michael Moore. Wasn't any of those dudes. Because those dudes weren't. They weren't bringing the. Especially, he was the Anthony Joshua of the '90s. That's what he was. He was that fucking dope. You know. The only reason that I didn't like Mike's fights too quick. Yeah, he would knock you out. you know, he would knock you out. So 100 mil, was it 100 mil that Manny got? I thought it was like 100 and something. But I could be wrong. Tyson versus Klitschko. That'd be a good fight, Klitschko. But see, Klitschko, people don't understand. Klitschko's another gym rat. He's always in the gym. I want to be like Klitschko when I get Klitschko's age. Just old gym rat. Yeah, I got to do, just calisthenics. It's not cheat week. You got to do 100 reps. Damn, what? Just shit you're just doing. Mike could fight a broomstick in those days and still sell out. Yeah, that is true. Francois Botha. You guys remember that fight? He fought Francois Botha. He's a white rhino, South African. Got his ass knocked out. Mike tried to break his fucking arm, though. He tried to break his arm. That shit was funny. I wouldn't mind Vital coming out of retirement. I think Vital is a little old. He's still dangerous though. I think he was more dangerous than Vlad. He was more dangerous, way more dangerous, more aggressive. I seen Lewis. That fight was massive. I'm gonna do a counterpunch classic on that too. I got to. Yeah, he got clubbed, Rod P. His ass got clubbed big time. Kurt, do you think Vlad will be back? Yeah, I think so. But I think he's waiting for the right time. Yeah, Jim Brown, that was a hardcore fight. There should have been a 2. I do question Lennox Lewis. I know he said he was going to retire before that fight, but fuck that. You owe it to the fans and you owe it to yourself if you could really beat that man like you said you could. I don't I don't really know. And I think that what affected him. I think he just wanted out at that point. You know. You know, you imagine Floyd fighting Berto, and then Berto gives him one hell of a fight and he quits. What's people gonna say about that? Right? People are gonna look at that like, dude, you no fucking way. You know? Only athlete. Copy that. Because everybody wanted to be like Mike's. You know? I saw that Ali versus Bugner fight. Brutal. Mike could beat Gerard Washington, Arthur Spilka if he ever goes through with some back. You know, I mean, again, I think Mike, man, you know, I don't want to get Mike fucked up. I don't want to get him hurt, you know. And I'm not taking anything from him. I think he could hurt these guys, but you don't want that. You don't want to see that shit. You don't want to see that shit, man, at all. But anyway, I think Mike should fight someone that's his own age. I think he should fight someone that's already retired like him to give him a fair advantage. And I wish Mike all the luck in the future if he keeps training to do whatever he plans to do. Yeah, I mean, we've already seen him fight enough, Blue. You know? Who's the best and worst referee? Joe Cortez, Richard Steele is what comes to mind. Rob, let me tell you something. I used to hate I used to have true animosity towards Richard Steele until I met the guy. Until I met him. I met him, and he's like the nicest older guy. He's a promoter now, but he's like he's a retired referee, but he's a promoter. And he's like one of the nicest dudes I ever met. You know, I know the Mildred Taylor Chavez one fight was some bullshit, but, you know, and he was booed and blasted a very long time because of that. But hey, the guy's one hell of a nice guy. I used to talk shit about Richard Steele, but he's a nice dude. You know what I mean? I even got a picture. I took a picture with him. Now, I don't publicly post that shit. I may one day, but you know what I mean? He's a really nice dude. You know what I mean? People make mistakes if he was bought. This is boxing. It's the sport that I love, that I hate so much for a reason. But I promise you guys, I will do a breakdown of referees good to bad, right? Coming soon. So anyway, I'm gonna do some more work. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Everybody on the chat, I hope you guys stay safe wherever you're at in this crazy world. Tommy Gun. Everybody has been counterpunched. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.